At an Indian festival a few years ago, I was filming with a group of Hindu holy men infamous for their extreme asceticism. I was amazed to find a lone European woman among them, Vasistha Giri. She is the only woman who has ever been accepted into their monastic order. I was intrigued, what was she doing here, and could she help me find a way into their world of ritual and ecstasy? On a beautiful spring day, I arrived at Vasistha Giri's hermitage in a remote Himalayan valley. It had taken nearly 2 years of phone calls and emails to be invited into this secretive world. Uma lives alone, dedicating her life to her god Shiva. She seemed to have shed her Western roots. In a way I envied her and wondered if I would be able to as well.
You kind of communicate with yourself and you get involved in your mind and all these emotions and feelings and try to understand and try to sort them out and try to get rid of them and try to transcend them and try to clear them out.
Although part of me is attracted to this lifestyle, the idea that Uma has surrendered totally to the will of God seems very alien.
You have to start yourself from the roots. From the very, very bottom. You know, I spent years in my Guru's Akara, and to have this yogis as an inspiration has been very helpful for me to do it my way. It's like cleaning your body, cleaning your mind, cleaning your soul, cleaning, purifying.
There are millions of Hindu holy men called sadhus, and I've always been fascinated by them. They live a radically different lifestyle to the rest of us. They have willingly renounced all their possessions, family ties and worldly attachments for a life of religious fervour.
The way is to surrender yourself. To find out who am I. To find out that I'm not this person, individual person sitting here. Well, I'm sitting here, but I'm something deeper than this. So I came here and I immediately decided, yeah, I'll stay here. So I built this house. I really don't know how I did it. But I was meant to be here, you know. I never in my life thought of building a house. One has a kind of a dream of living by a river and a wood pile and a cow and all this, but it was a very, very far away fantasy. For the cows, they eat that and then I get the manure. Now it is a yatra time. Now it is the yatra time because the season is right. In the winter time, not even many yogis go out. They stay at home in front of at home. It sounds like they've got big places. They stay by their duni, by their fire and do their tapasyas. It's cold up here in the mountains. Then the spring times come and it's time to open up my house because my yogi brothers have to come here. They have to come here and it's my duty to accommodate them.
Amongst the endless stream of sadhus who pass through Uma's comfortable little retreat is Vasistha Giri. Uma wanted me to meet him, hoping that he would help me trade reason and logic for faith and intuition.
How are you?
Very, very well. And you?
That's fine.
Fine. This yogi that I know, Vasistha Giri, he came along and he's going on a yatra. I mean, he didn't come here to stay here. He came here because he was passing by. And then asked, maybe I would like to come along. So I go with him.
And life is a journey. Journey means yatra, same thing, na?
Is yatra important to Hindus?
Yatra important to Hindus.
Yeah, I mean, to go on a yatra like this is a symbol. It's like you go on your inner yatra. You go. This is like the outer yatra.
But are you trying to find who you are yourself? Or going on yatra?
Yeah, well, that's the purpose of a yatra.
Right, go ahead.
It's not the purpose of a yatra to be a tourist and to look around at old ancient monuments. A yatra is to look into yourself.
If this intriguing young man was going to be my guide, I wanted to know more about him. Tell me about your guru, Vasistha Giri.
My Guruji lives in Gangotri, near the Ganges. He's a nice person, but quite angry sometimes. Too much angry, he beats also. And no snaps. He never gives the snaps. No interviews, nothing. He throws the stone towards the camera. No snaps. So, many saints are there, no snaps. Matlab, they are just away from the society, na? So one saint asked another one that, tell me your experience, Babaji. Then he said, how can I tell you my 20 years experience within 20 minutes, huh? You should be with me for 20 years actually, then you will know about 20 years. So this is the main logic the saints give. And why should we disopen our secrets? Well, after so much penance we got something. Everything should not be told to everybody, na? Questions are good, but all the time questions are also not good, na? And if there are so many questions, then one should have to enter his own soul to get the answer. Nobody can give all the answers to anybody.
That put me firmly in my place. I was obviously going to have to prove my worth before Vasistha would share any esoteric secrets.
Tell me about the gentleman who came yesterday called Vasistha Giri.
He's a yogi. He lives up here in the Himalayas. And he also has his guru. We belong to the same order. We belong to the same akara.
But what does he mean to you?
In a sense, he's like my child, my son. And you know how mothers understand their sons. So I have that understanding with him. So no, I'm not, as I said, I'm not a yogi. I'm a woman. I'm a mother. But he's a son in my heart.
That afternoon, Vasistha took Uma and I off on our yatra. The intention was to make the traditional pilgrimage to the source of India's holiest rivers and visit hidden Himalayan mystics along the way. Our final destination was unclear, but I was hoping that 18 days on the road would make Uma and Vasistha less of an enigma to me. First stop was 20 miles down the valley. Uma was obviously well known in this town.
किधर उधर चलते हैं ये क्या बनाता है इधर उधर चलता है उधर आश्रम
While Vasistha went off to hire a jeep, Uma showed me round her local monastery.
This is the Dattatreya. This is the main temple of the Akara. Dattatreya is the Ishta Devata, the focus point of Junakara. And this is his temple.
It turned out that this was where she had started her spiritual journey.
And this is where I lived for 15 years in this little room here.
And what kind of things were you doing while you were here?
Well, you know, like anybody coming to Nakara like this, they have to start from the bottom. And then I got familiar to the place, and then I started decorating because I like to do that. So I made all nice dresses for all the gods and goddesses. But I needed a little bit of female touch like that.
And what was it like being a woman in a total man's environment?
Yeah, that was quite difficult. But you see, also, I never really come here to this realm to look for another man. I came here to look for myself, so it was okay. You know, I just had no interest. I mean, they're very fascinating, but I learned very quickly to keep away. I'm a woman, they are Babas, and I'm a Mai. So I keep distance.
But why did you decide to come here?
Oh, that is nothing that you can decide. You know, you can't think about that. I knew immediately. For some years, I mean, it started off by a personal tragic story, of course. Everything. That's when you wake up to. You have to do something when you go through personal crisis. And I went also through a personal crisis. And then I came to India, and unconsciously I was looking for something.
Umagi was born Eva Björnstam. She was the daughter of an authoritarian policeman in a provincial Swedish town. She grew up to be a strong-minded teenager, and in the 1960s escaped to swinging London to become a model. A decade later, Umagi was a top model living in Ibiza, Athens and London. She married, had 2 children and the whole family set off on the hippie trail to India. After many months wandering round the Himalayas, Uma and her husband's relationship broke down. He left, taking the children. Desolate, lonely and ill, Uma sought sanctuary in a monastery. There she met her guru.
I knew that was it. Oh, he's my guru forever and forever. And he's very, very present in my life. He made me, he changed my life.
Uma's guru died 5 years ago, and his shrine is still a very special place for her.
His name was Sri Ekasar Art Sri Mahend Krishna Chand Giri. Oh, hey Guru. Yeah, we are going on a yatra. Your blessings. He became like my father. He was a very, very loving person.
You're trying to say that he could somehow
Oh, he knew me. He knew inside. That's why he let me come here to stay here, because he could see that he could help me. So the thing is to try to be present now and do what has to be done now. एक दूसरा वाला एक बागा हमारा आया बातों साफ करो सामान Off we go.
Okay. The life is a journey, no? Journey started now. Michael Baba.
Where will it end? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, pardon.
You're the wise man. Where will it end? Our journey.
It never ends. Life never ends, huh?
It was good to hear him call me Michael Baba. I got the feeling that our pilgrimage together was going to be rewarding. This being India, we gathered a few extra passengers. But at last we were on our way to Gangotri, the source of the river Ganges. Or at least that's what I thought. Though Vasistha had other ideas.
टोली का रास्ता यही है वो महात्मा रहता है नहीं एक वहाँ आगे बंगाली बाबा गाँव का रास्ता चले ना tough mountains polite people right way मैं खूब समझता हूँ ठीक है then we go walking yeah? वो जीप आ रही है उसका पास बना हुआ है उसका पास
अभी रो ऐसा आवाज मार देता भी
अच्छा
बात होता है कोई क्या इतनी जल्दी प्रेम से बात होती है
We are really out in the off the road now, aren't we? This is really Himalayas.
So what's up now? Why are we waiting?
We are waiting because we are not allowed in with the car because we are here, we foreigners.
बिना लंगर के कैसे
Vasistha and Uma had decided we should make a detour to meet a great sadhu called Bengali Baba. Unfortunately, that meant entering a military restricted zone below the Tibetan border.
आप बता सकते हैं
ना आप लोग तो जा सकते हैं आप लोग जाइए बेशक उसमें अपना महादेव और वाहन का हो गया चक्कर
ऐसा मत पर
आगे अफसर तो कोई तब बड़े परेशानी हो जाएगी अंगारी महादेव कुछ
हम लोग को आगे डाल देना अफसर के धन्यवाद सर
गाड़ी में आगे वो पायलट साहब
He was saying now keep your camera inside and no shooting.
We began the 3-hour walk to Bengali Baba's retreat 3,000 feet below. We were far from the tourist track, following a hidden network that weaves through the Himalayas, binding these reclusive saints into a community.
Now we are doing a yatra. One of the ways of getting into the spiritual world is to associate with saints. I look at that and understand them through looking at